Dag iedereen, ik ben hier samen met MONIKA CEVIS en zij is eigenlijk van Zwitserse origine. So I introduce you MONIKA CEVIS. She's from Switzerland and she's helping the children here, the children, women. She's doing a lot of humanitarian work here in Nepal. And she's also the leading woman of the Kopila Children Dropping Center. Yes. So I think it's better for you to speak to the world and explain a little bit about the situation here in Nepal.
First of all, I would like to express my heartfelt thank you for your support, for the donations, for the clothes, for the medicine, for the street children. The situation right now in Nepal is very difficult. When it comes to medicine, there is shortage in hospitals because of the unofficial blockade from India. We had cases where we couldn't manage the medicine for the children. So it's very, very urgent if people outside of Nepal somehow can send medicine for hospitals. Right now, there are private initiatives of different kinds of people who are doing researches in hospitals which medication is missing. The problem to import medication from other countries is very big because there is a need of approval from the government which takes time of 1 year. And people are suffering right now. There is need for basic medication which people are not getting. So if somebody is coming to Nepal, please bring medicines to help children and to help people and families. We had one case in our rehabilitation center for street girls, Udia, who's suffering from tuberculosis, and we couldn't find medicine for her. And Brigitta was so kind to contact different doctors and to bring the medicine. And today as well, I had a meeting with certain journalists here who work here and write reports about Nepal, and they said, please try to contact doctors and bring some medicine because it's not going to improve within 3-4 months for sure the situation here. And the other issue is the shortage of fuel, which is affecting the transportation of food into earthquake-affected areas, which is affecting the work in hospitals as well, because there is certain things need to be.
Yeah, you have to drive with fuel, you have to cook with fuel.
Exactly, yes. But certain, which I heard, is certain operations, yes. And because there is no fuel, there is no
transportation,
electricity, gas.
Yeah.
So these institutions can't
function.
Properly.
Yes. So there's also a shortage of fuel.
Yes, exactly. Because of the shortage of fuel, the transportation of food is almost impossible. And this is very, very difficult because in the earthquake-affected areas, food can't be delivered for people. So many people are going to be hungry, and there was as well reports from UNICEF and different INGOs that children are affected because of the malnutrition, especially the age from 1 to 5 years old. They are going to get sick soon if there won't be any improvement and any political situation. As well, what I heard today talking to journalists is that they're trucks with delivery of blankets, food and supplies for people. These trucks are being held on the Indian border for 3 months, and they can't deliver aid for earthquake victims. Winter is coming. You need to understand that until now, nothing has been done in Nepal to rebuild the affected areas because it was not approved by the government. So people who live in the affected areas live under tents, so there is no proper shelter. Schools were not rebuilt, houses were not rebuilt because there was no approval from the government. So until now, nothing was rebuilt in Nepal. And winter is coming, and winters are from December, January, February until March. It is very, very cold here. And if there is no gas, it's going to be very difficult for people to heat. And you need to understand that there is 16 hours no electricity in winter time. So even if we have electrical heaters, if there is no electricity, it can be heated, it can be cooked. For people maybe in the villages, they can cook by wood and they can heat by wood.
Yes, I saw that, yes.
But then again, if there is no rice and all the crops was destroyed during the earthquake. After the earthquake, we went to villages to help some people, and because people keep animals and they keep their rice and dal, everything under one roof, and they live under one roof. So when the houses collapsed, the earthquake came like immediately, so they didn't have time to take all this rice and dal out of the buildings and houses. And we saw people who were like picking with one by one food out of these destroyed houses because everything got destroyed. And as well, the animals died, so people may get really, really hungry because there won't be any delivery of aid and food for the winter time.
So the story is really devastating. Wat Monika eigenlijk vertelt is dat de situatie op dit moment nog belangen niet gestabiliseerd is, eigenlijk nog verergerd is. Na de moessonregens komt nu de winter eraan. En India heeft dus de grenzen gesloten, waardoor dat er geen medicatie meer binnenkomt. Er is ook geen brandstof meer, waardoor dat, het gewone functioneren van het alledaagse leven eigenlijk compleet stilvalt. Zoals Monika vertelde en ik jullie ook al verteld heb, is er een meisje, Udia, met een zeer zware vorm van TBC geweest, nog altijd trouwens, in het opvangcentrum. En als wij met België ons best niet hadden gedaan om die medicijnen te leveren, was de kans op haar overleving eigenlijk nihil. Dus het is toch wel belangrijk om al die zaken in perspectief te zetten naar de armoede in ons land. Er is overal armoede, er zijn overal problemen, maar deze problemen grenzen echt wel aan het onmetelijke en zijn echt wel hemeltergend. Dus ziekteverzekering en natuurrampen en al dat soort dingen, dat bestaat hier niet. Dus iedereen is eigenlijk op zichzelf aangewezen en er moet hulp van buitenaf komen. Dus wat Monika ook heeft verteld, what you just told, is that it's very important for foreigners who come to Nepal to bring medication if they can. I also had contact with big fuel agencies who were ready to transport fuel. So there really is need of fuel, of medication. Dus er is echt nood aan brandstof en aan medicatie en aan al dat soort dingen om te kunnen overleven. Want de winters zijn hier zeer streng. De winter is very strong here en duurt tot ongeveer March.
Until March is going to be. And because of all these pressures and now economical pressures, there is an increased number of children migrating to the city. So Brigitta, she came last year to our drop-in center for street children, and she decided to help us, and this year she came again. Thank you so much. And actually, after the earthquake, the number of street children increased on the street. So before the earthquake, there were around 6,000 street children around the Kathmandu Valley. Now we don't have the numbers, but what we observed is that because the rooms and houses in Kathmandu got destroyed, there is shortage of places where people can live. Because the government didn't give the approval to rebuild the houses, people stayed without rooms, and children dropped out from school and ended up on the street. And they either start coming to places like our drop-in center, or social workers find these kind of children begging close to the temple. So this is one group of the children. The second group of the children is who migrate from the villages, because as well the houses got destroyed, the schools got destroyed. There are only like temporary kind of shelters, and they migrate to the city to find a job so they can support the families in the villages. But mostly, these are very small children, like 9, 10 years old.
And the babies.
And so mostly they don't find a job and they end up on the street. So our problem is basically nobody is supporting us for cases like this. So these children need, beside Brigitta, and help us. So there are a few like private initiatives, but it's not enough. Because when the children come, they need to get proper food, they need to get a proper place to sleep, and all these things cost. And from the government, there is no help until now, because the government doesn't have right now a solution for these kind of children who start migrating to the city. So first they want to do research and how much. The number of the children, how much did it increase, and all these things are taking time. And time is now to help, because winter is coming. So when those children end up in the drop-in center, they need to be removed from the street. So either we cannot reintegrate them back to family. So this is a big problem. We would love to bring all children back to their families, but where should we bring them? Because there is nothing there.
No.
So they don't have place to stay.
No.
We cannot bring them. So that means we need to place them somewhere where it's a full-time care. We have to admit them to school so they can be re-socialized slowly. And when the situation will be stable, and those families in the earthquake-affected areas will be helped, then we need and we have to bring those children back. But until then, we need to overbridge this time. So that's why I'm sharing all this information with you, that you know how is the situation, and if somebody would like to help those kind of children who lost their home, and which we need to help urgently, please help us.